Welcome back, everybody, to yet another short video of what's going on. I am your host, Jacob Carlson, and today in this short video, I'm going to be talking about a scenario that's been on my mind for a couple of years now. And it goes pretty much like this. Imagine if you are a space traveler and you are traveling across the galaxy with relative ease, and you eventually discover a planet that's very much like your own, and you discover a race of intelligent beings that have two arms, two legs, and they're walking upright. They're wearing furs and they're using sticks and stones to make tools and weapons. They're hunting their food and they're gathering fruits and vegetables. And you also find out that they're about to discover fire for the very first time. Now, naturally, you would be curious, like anyone else, exactly how they would react when they first discover fire in the first place. The reaction would be of one of disgust, but also at the same time immense curiosity, but also hilarity, because the first time you discover that something is dangerous, no one is actually going to tell you that it's dangerous until you find out yourself. And so we all know how dangerous fire is, but we always take for granted that the first humans in prehistoric times, they did not know that, and they didn't know a lot of anything. They were always on a steep learning curve, as we still are today. And basically, you would be so curious as to what they would do next. Would they invent the wheel? Would they build the first cities? Would they attempt to conquer each other through wars and catastrophes like that? Or, or, or what would happen next? And so naturally, you'd want to stick around and find out what's going on next and see if they can develop their civilization to a point of tremendous intrigue to you and to others. And personally, that's what I that's what I think actually happened in the distant past when an extraterrestrial civilization ended up discovering our prehistoric ancestors, that they were just about to discover fire. And then of course what happened next was that they stick around and find out what we were going to do next. And the aliens have been watching us this entire time for over 10,000 years, maybe even longer, and that at strategic points throughout recorded human history, even the parts that we don't know about completely, aliens could have actually have influenced in more ways than one our ancestors at certain points in time. And it steered us at a point where we are the way we are today. And though they didn't help us outright because we wouldn't learn anything. Instead, we worship them as gods or angels or even dragons for that matter. So they decide to help us along here and there so that they can. It's like when you're studying for a test and someone gives you a hint. It's like, well, what's the answer to this or what's the answer to that? Usually we can figure it out ourselves, but in the end, we always gonna get help from someone else, someone who already knows the answer. So basically, that's what I personally believe in terms of the existence of extraterrestrials and the idea or even the theories that they've visited or even influenced our ancestors, and it may have been the basis of many myths and legends and maybe even some religions for that matter. As controversial as it is to even bring it up in any circle of influence, whether in science, religion, academia, or just casual conversation, I still like to think about ancient astronauts all the time. And the three big authors to look up after this video are the authors named Charles Fort, Eric von Daniken, and last but not least, William Bramley. Those are the three authors that talk about ancient aliens influencing our earliest ancestors, and have probably have manipulated history here and there at strategic points so that we can evolve better or lead us down a path of certain destruction. Either way, I think the latter is true in this case, because just like there's good people and bad people in the world, there is also good aliens and bad aliens as well. So, but also thinking in terms of like a TV show, if aliens have been watching us this entire time, then the pilot episode was in prehistoric times, and maybe one of two things could happen in the near future. The cancellation of our show would be an environmental or man made disaster of biblical proportions, or we can actually reach a finale of sorts when we actually come to terms with the fact that we're not alone in the universe and that we're actually beginning to explore the galaxy ourselves. And we might actually make first contact with the very extraterrestrials who have visited our ancestors for a very long time. So, basically, with all that being said, I personally believe that we are not alone in the universe and that we've been visited in the distant past and they're still among us to this day. And whether or not they ever do show themselves or whether or not this theory is actually true, still to this day remains to be seen. But it's still something I like to think about. And with that being said, that's a scenario that I wanted you to think about for the moment. You don't have to believe it, you don't have to take it seriously, but it is something worth thinking about. So it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It had to come from somewhere. And with that being said, my name is Jacob Carlson. This has been another short video of what's going on so far. This is what I like to think about most of the time, but I don't let it interfere with my actual historical research. So don't get it twisted. Please, if you want, leave a like. Comment something you like or don't like about this particular controversial subject, because I really like to hear from you personally, from my audience. Please press the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a future upload on my channel anytime soon. Please share the video with all the people you know and love, and I'll always ask that you please take care of each other out there, be nice to one another, and as always, I will see you in the next couple of videos. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.